Hey there, drone fans. Today I've got the brand new Osmo Nano that I'd like to do an unboxing of. Now, this is the latest camera from DJI, and it's in their action series, but it's not really an action camera in a lot of ways that you normally think of an action camera. It is very similar to the Insta360 Go 3S in that the camera can separate from the actual body, and the camera's magnetic, so you can attach it to your hat or other type of mount, and then use the base separately as a viewfinder and controlling the camera. So it's got a lot of really cool features that I'll get into in a minute, but it seems like this market is heating up big time, where everybody's trying to come up with the next action camera format, and DJI's tried this once before. Some of you probably remember the Action 2, which was a great little camera. I liked it an awful lot. I know they had some issues with overheating when you were recording 4K content, but they came out with a case that helped to eliminate a lot of that heat and make it easier to use. But this was a clever design. I mean, the camera itself detached from the actual base, so you could record with this. It was kind of big, but then when you snapped it back on the base, you had a viewfinder you could use. You could actually control it from there. So in a lot of ways, I'll call this a composable camera because you can do a lot of different things with it. Well, that's exactly what the Osmo Nano is designed to do as well. So now you've got a bit of a choice between the Osmo Nano, which is a composable camera, the Action 5, which is a standard action camera, maybe even the Action 360, or I should say the Osmo 360, which is the 360-degree camera, and then you've got the Pocket 3, which is a stabilized gimbal camera. So DJI gives you pretty much every option you need to get out there and film the footage you want to film. But for today, I'm going to do the unboxing on the Osmo Nano, and then I'll come back and do a comparison between the four cameras I just mentioned, and I'll probably do a compare and contrast with the Insta360 Go 3S. Boy, that's a mouthful. Anyway, for today, let's get into this one because I'm really excited to get it charged up and get outside and capture some footage. So there are two versions of this available, a 64 gigabyte and a 128 gigabyte, and that refers to the amount of capacity inside the actual camera. Now you can still slide an SD card into the base and transfer those files over, but for recording purposes, that capacity is all you can record on the camera when it's detached from the base. I have the 128 gigabyte version here because I want to record a lot of footage on it. So let me get it opened up and we'll take a look at what the camera provides. Boy, it's really a nice tight, let's see here, Rick, don't embarrass yourself. There we go. Had to get the box open. All right, so when you first open up the box, there's an accessory box right here. Oops, and there comes the camera. And that's pretty much, whoop, that's not all there is. There's other stuff in there. So I've got some packing material, and there's the camera. So let me put this off to the side. There's a QR code right there where you can download some software and a bunch of DJI stickers as well, which are pretty cool. Let's see what's in the accessory box before I get into the actual camera, because boy, does this look interesting. All right, let's see what we got in here. Let me dump all this out. I've got a lot of stuff in there. Okay, good. So there's a grouping of manuals. I'm not going to open that up because these bags tend to be very, well, let me open it up. What the heck? These bags tend to be very difficult to get open. I love that they've got these durable bags now they're using with everything. All right, so inside there you've got a grouping of manuals. There's a quick start guide, a safety guide. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So it must be pretty easy to use, and I'm sure if you download the Mimo application from DJI's website, you can control a lot of the functions on this product. All right, so what else is in the kit? Well, let's see. I got a USB-C to USB-C cable. Now this is really nice because you can charge this from a PD charger. So if you've got a 30 watt or higher PD charger, you can quick charge this because the USB-C connection on here is 3.1, which provides quick charging through PD chargers. It also provides up to 600 megabytes a second of transfer off the camera to your computer. So it's really nice they gave you a really heavy duty flexible USB-C to USB-C. Let's see what else is in here. All right. Another one of those bags. Boy, whoa, look out. Oh, geez. Okay, that's a goner. Let me get that guy. Not sure what the heck that was, but it popped out pretty quick. All right, let me open this bag up. And in here, it looks like a frame. So this is probably a heavy-duty frame for mounting that camera on a different type of mount. Let me get that out and see. You can tell I didn't open this yet. Yeah, there's a nice frame right there. So this would be a nice protective case for the camera. And it looks like I can still clip it on the base because it's got pogo pins right here that'll transfer those connections through. And that's the key. When you connect the camera up to the base, these pogo pins provide transfer of the file so you can actually transfer footage you've recorded on the camera to an SD card in the base or in the main unit, main housing. And it also provides charging power for the actual camera. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what's in here. I'll see if I can do it without dropping it again. This guy bounced away from me pretty quick there. All right, let's see. Boy, these bags are tricky. Hope you guys are having fun opening the bags when you get your new products, because boy, I'll tell you, these things are durable. All right, so what I've got here, it looks like a magnetic mount for the camera with a hat clasp on it. So I can put that on my hat, have the camera up top, and do a sort of point of view, which is kind of cool. Let's see what's in here. We got another bag here. Let me get this guy open. All right, in here looks like a lanyard. Now this is a magnetic mount, so this lanyard could probably go, I'm gonna have to test it, but probably go inside your shirt so you don't see it. Then you can pop the camera on the outside and it'll adhere to this. So you've got the lanyard mount there. Then this is some type of other mount, which I'm sure I can use on surfaces. There you go, it's a suction mount. All right, so I don't know if I would trust this on my car, but I think I would trust it on any flat surface like this desk, where I could stick it down as long as it's a non-porous surface and you're good to go. Now the nice part about this one is that you can unscrew the base, which I just figured out, and it looks like a 1/4 on there, so you could probably use this on a tripod or a selfie stick as well. So that's kind of cool. All right, so a bunch of mounts in the case. Let's get into the camera next, because boy, I'm excited to look at this. All right, so the camera is pretty small. Now, it's hard for me to gauge this, right, physically, because you're looking at it through a camera. But if I were to look at this and reference it to something that I know an awful lot about, I would say this is about half of a standard Milky Way bar. So if you guys like candy, this is about a half of a Milky Way bar. And it seems light. Now, they said in the promo that it's about the same weight as an egg. I don't know if that's the case. I guess it depends on what kind of egg you're eating. But really nice looking camera. Little power button on the top. It's magnetically attached. Let's see if I can stick it to this. Here's the lanyard. Whoa, boy, look at that. So it grabs on really nice. So you could have this dangling inside your shirt and pop this on from the outside. Now you've got a point of view camera that when you're doing stuff, you can actually record that. So that's pretty cool. All right, so that's the camera. Let's take a look at the control base. All right, pretty standard. You've got a screen on this side. Let me pull this cover off. Ooh, nice screen there. So you've got a beautiful screen there. On the top, like I mentioned, there are the pogo pins that connect up to the camera. And there's a protective cover on the bottom. Let me pull that off. And there are the pogo receivers. I'm sure there's a name for that, but I call them pogo receivers. And I'll pop the camera on there. There you go. So that's what it looks like fully assembled. There's a cover on the lens. Let me pull that off as well. So that's the camera. Now, it does look very similar to an action camera in the size of it. But again, the beauty of this is you push these two clamps on the side, you can lift the camera right off the base and then control this from the base. So you can have this attached to your dog's collar. Maybe your kids are running around the backyard and you've got a viewfinder here. Now, I don't know if they're using the OcuSync technology they use with their drones. That might be tricky to build into something this small, but DJI's been world renowned for their transmission technology. So I'm gonna get a live feed here from the camera and be able to control the recording from this side quite a distance away from the actual base. So I'll have to test that and see how far that works. But I like the fact that I can clip it on and I can record right with the base. Now I wonder if I can spin that around. It's bi-directional. Okay, so that's cool. And the reason I like that is because maybe I want to do a selfie and I've got to see that I'm in frame. So that is kind of interesting. I don't know how they're doing that. I'll have to figure that one out too, because normally magnets only attach in one direction. And if you tried to attach things before the DJI built, they only go on one way, but this one goes on either way. So that's kind of nice. All right, so there you go. So let me give you some specifications on the unit. The reason this is important, I think, compared to other action cameras on the market, is that it's using a larger sensor. It's a 1/1.3" sensor, which means you're going to gather more information at the sensor, and it's going to give you better response in low light conditions. It's also going to give you crisper images. It's got 10-bit color and D-Log, so that's pretty important for people that are serious about photography. And it also has a wider field of view, so it's going to record 143 degrees, which means you're going to capture more of the landscape shots that you care about. Now, as far as recording goes, it'll record 4K at both 60 frames and 120 frames per second. But the challenge, I think, is the battery in the camera is small. So they talk about it being a 90-minute recording time with the camera on its own. But honestly, that's going to depend on both the resolution and the frame rate you're recording. So if you're recording 1080p at 24 frames per second, you might get 90 minutes out of it. But if you crank that up to a 4K at 30, you're gonna get less. 4K at 60, even less. If you turn on a lot of the features like Horizon Steady and Rock Steady, stabilization on it, that'll probably cut down on the time. But for me, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna use a camera like this if I have to record for an hour. I'm gonna use a standard action camera, but where I see this being really valuable for me is in those moments where I'm going to record point of view, or I'm doing a demonstration, or maybe I'm at a party and I just want to capture some footage of the people that are at the party to have a good time and review that footage later on, I think it's a great action camera too for underwater recording. Now, it is waterproof down to 10 meters, so you can take it down to about 30 feet. And if you're a diver, 30 feet is pretty much as deep as you can go as sort of a hobbyist. Now, you can go deeper than that, but 30 minutes you can stay down there forever. You get down to 60 feet, you can stay there for an hour. You can't take this down to 60 feet. You got to stay above that. But I think it's great for swimming pools, or you're out there in the river swimming and you want to capture some footage. Take it along and have some fun with it. It's also great if you're at the beach and you end up in the ocean and you're swimming out there with the waves, or you're a surfer. So I think as an action camera, it's going to do really well out there. What else did I wanted to talk about? I think that's it. Oh, you can instantly switch from portrait to landscape as well. So if you're doing TikTok videos, or you're doing Instagram videos, you need that portrait mode. And then I like to record in horizontal or in landscape mode because it captures more of that landscape. Now, the kit itself comes with everything I've got in front of me, and as I'd mentioned, there are two versions of it, a 64 gigabyte and 128 gigabyte, and that refers to the capacity in the camera. So you can put an SD card in the base, which easily allows you to transfer that footage over to the base, but you can't actually record directly to the base with the camera. Even if it's attached here, it's going to record and then transfer over to it. So I've got a lot of investigation to do with this. I'm going to spend a lot of time out there filming with it, testing it, seeing what it can do, and I'll put a couple of clips together that describes the features and functions of this once I've had a chance to use it for a while. And I'll also work on a clip that compares this to the standard Action 5, which is their action camera, if you will. I'll do another clip that compares it to the 360 version that DJI's got out now, the Osmo 360, and I'll do one that compares it to the Osmo Pocket 3, which is their latest stabilized gimbal camera. And just one thing I wanted to show you, this is the Insta360 3S, the Go 3S, that looks similar, and again, it has this removable camera in it as well, but it doesn't have the same size lensing. It doesn't have the same size image sensor on it. So this is going to give you a much richer view of your footage. This is smaller, so it's a little bit easier to take if you're recording lower resolution footage. But if you're looking for the best possible image quality at 4K, this is going to be the one to go with because of the larger image size. They also have a really nice night mode on this one, which does better in low light conditions. So if you're filming at night, this may be the one to go with as well. Anyway, that's pretty much all I had for today. Again, I like exploring new technology, and when I saw this Osmo Nano camera announced, I felt like I have to get it. I got to bring it in. I want to test it against other products that are out there so you guys understand exactly what it provides, and then you can decide if it's right for you or not. But that's pretty much it for today. So thank you very much for watching. I love talking about this kind of technology, and I hope you found value in the clip. So until next time, as always, stay nerdy.